Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we're here at MetroEast Community Media. Now, my second guest of the night, I have Craig Hills. Craig is with Remodeling for Independence Together, or ReFIT. Thanks for being here, Craig.
Well, thank you.
So ReFIT is an organization that goes out and helps people who have disabilities or some special needs in their home, and they need to be outfitted to accommodate those. Is that sort of a fair assessment?
Well, that would be a way. Another way I would say it is that people who, because of illness, an injury, or just the aging process, lose the mobility that they need to be able to negotiate through their home. And so a lot of times their home becomes a barrier, and what we try to do is remove those barriers. Sometimes it's building a ramp, sometimes it is widening a doorway. Oftentimes it includes remodeling the bathroom so that if they're wheelchair bound, they're able to now continue to use their bathroom.
And that can be a real problem. I know, having had family members who are in wheelchairs, that it can be really difficult to maneuver into bathrooms, in and out of bathtubs, in and out of a house that has steps. And you don't think about that when you're younger and you're able-bodied, and until that happens. So tell me a little bit then about how ReFIT got started. What's the history here, and tell me a little bit about your mission, if you could.
Okay. Well, in 1996, a young man by the name of Jess Smart was injured in an auto accident, and as a result, he was confined to a wheelchair. He was probably about 19. He was a sophomore in University of Oregon. His family, Bill and Carol Mark, were friends of Bill in particular at the Oregon Remodelers Association, which is where I got to know him. And the community within the Oregon Remodelers Association wanted to do something to help. So they had a fundraiser, and with the funds, they modified the family home and then went down to the University of Oregon, where he was a student, and modified his fraternity house.
Oh, wow.
So that experience was something that just meant a lot to the family.
Yeah.
And knowing Bill Mart, he's the kind of person that just doesn't sit on that kind of goodwill, but rather he wants to pay it forward. And so as a result, roughly about a year later, ReFIT was founded.
So he was the founder
Correct.
of that. Okay, now were you? You said you met him back then? Is that
Well, he was almost a confidant at the Oregon Remodelers Association.
So you
when
were
I
a
first
remodeler?
joined.
I mean, that
Correct.
was okay. Okay, so that's how it got started. So how long have you been involved? Oh. Okay, so because you, Craig, are the chair, you're immediate past president.
Yes.
And you're on the chair advisory committee.
I am, well.
Or you're the chair of the advisory committee.
Correct.
Right, okay.
Correct. Yeah.
And so how long have you been involved with?
Well, I actually was involved at the beginning when they had the fundraiser, and then when they did the modification, I was not involved in that. But the very first project that ReFIT put together was a home in Forest Grove for an elderly couple, and the home was basically a trap for them. Oh. They weren't able to negotiate the different levels in the home. The carpet, the wood stove had a little area that was raised. So technology, sorry about that.
Usually I remind people about that, but I forgot to this time, Craig.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. That's what, it's probably somebody calling saying
now you know it's live, right?
They need help from ReFIT.
Yeah.
So now you know somebody's watching.
Yeah.
Okay, so that couple there, you able to go out there and help them?
And so essentially this was one of those where it was preceding the TV show where they go in and just send a bunch of bodies, which is literally what happened. We probably had 50 volunteers.
Wow.
Some of whom basically fed the people that were doing the work. Others just obviously focused in on some part of the home. But as a result, it was an experience that I think just really solidified the commitment that was started in keeping people in their homes, which is where they want to be.
Right, of course it is. So about how many homes do you fit throughout a year? How many homes does ReFIT actually work into it?
In 2012, we were able to surpass 50. And in fact, our goal for 2012 was 12 remodeled homes. Oh, and in fact, that's what we achieved at the end of the year.
Approximately one a month. That's
roughly.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So how are you funded then? Are you supported by donations from the public? Is that pretty much how it is? And obviously any nonprofit can use donations or support. What's the main thing that you need from people?
Well, there's three areas of need that we have. Typically, obviously, cash donations or otherwise are accepted
Always
and
welcome,
appreciated.
I'm sure, yes.
But another is that we rely on the professional construction community to help us with a lot of these projects. So if you're a contractor, if you're familiar with construction, those kinds of skilled labor are really what we are relying on to get the projects completed. And then people who are in the trades or in the building industry, such as suppliers, whether it's lumber yards or maybe concrete or other plumbing supplies, things of that sort.
So if I owned a small business, say, and I wanted to, I owned a small business and I wanted to be involved with the community, perhaps I could have my staff go out there and do some work. Maybe I commit to a year of giving services, or even 6 months or something. You would be open to that kind of thing?
Of course.
Okay, so tell me, what you said there were three. There was the cash. I mean,
well,
obviously.
Cash, the professional community as far as the remodelers, and then people who are suppliers to the industry.
Oh, the suppliers.
Whether it's plumbing or lumber or otherwise.
Tell me a little bit more about that then. Tell me a little bit more. Give me an example of some of the some of the people that you have actually helped.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We, if you are a contractor in the area, then I'm kind of answering another question.
Okay.
But
Okay.
The earlier one that you asked is a profile of the kind of people that do the work. If you're a contractor in the area and want to take on a project, then typically what we'll do is provide you with the connection to the need in the community. And typically they've been screened, they've been qualified, and they're ready to go. And we've already done an assessment on what needs to be done. So the remodeling contractor essentially treats it as if it's a 4-pay job, but in this case it's not. Okay. So they bring together their team, whether it's their employees, their subcontractors, their designers, and they take on the project in its entirety. What we found in that experience from the remodeling contractor is that it's an opportunity for them to do something as a give back to the community. And a lot of times, for the experience of those involved, it's so much more than if they did it as a for-profit job. And it becomes a team building.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's a great team building exercise. And I think most people find that when they do volunteer work, you get more out of it than you ever put into it anyway. So that's a great idea. Not only can you give back, but it's a good team building exercise. Rather than pay somebody to come do your team building for you, you do that. I like that idea. So tell me a little bit about the people that you help. You told me a little bit about the family, the older couple.
Correct.
You were telling me earlier about a young boy.
Frankie Liddell.
Yeah, tell me about Frankie. Yeah. That was an interesting
story.
Well,
when we got to meet Frankie, he was still in his early 20s, and the history was such that he was born with a muscular degenerative disease that really started taking hold as he got into his teen years. Prior to then, he was school age. He went through high school, was even in college, and unfortunately, in that time frame, the progression was such that he was losing use of his legs.
So he was having to be in a wheelchair.
But he was in a wheelchair. He was still able to move around, and in 2009, he had a stroke, a significant stroke. So basically, he couldn't use the wheelchair any longer. So he was confined to a bed probably 23 of the 24 hours a day. When they came to us, they had had a recent assessment of their home. And
so who came? The parents?
When the parents came to us, they had had a recent assessment of their home, and there was a concern that if there were a fire, they couldn't get him out.
Oh, and that's a very real concern. I mean,
it was, and it obviously concerned the parents enough where they knew they had to do something. So the mother was able to find ReFIT online, contacted us, and from that point forward, we basically came out, we assessed what needed to be done, and took on the project. During the process, we basically built a access or egress out of the home with French doors. We built a patio for Frankie to be able to slide his bed out, and also a ramp so he could exit the home.
So is that when they came to you, were they expecting all that? I mean, because that's pretty complicated, French doors and ramp and all. When they came to you, what did they say?
They weren't expecting that. But what we decided was it served the purpose, but it also gave him time outside of his bedroom. And so when we came back to do what we call the ribbon cutting, where we kind of bring all the volunteers back together and meet the family and have everyone see the finished product, Frankie was in his room, and so we wheeled him out through the French doors, brought him out. It was a beautiful sunny day, and his mom, being the mom, put little sunglasses on him so he had protection from the sun. But she told us, she said, his view from his room was such that he could only see a little bit of the sky.
Oh, really?
And he had this beautiful tree just outside of his window that now he could not only see, but he could come out and literally feel the wind blow.
And hear the birds singing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it just immensely
that would make a huge amount
improved
of
his life.
Oh, yeah. Improve his spirits, the quality of his life would be immensely better. We have a few pictures that you brought, so I think we should take a look at those of some of the work that ReFIT has done. So when we bring those up on the screen, maybe you can tell me exactly what we're looking at here. Waiting for those pictures.
Well, the pictures will show Frankie. There's some of the construction going on. So this is a volunteer from Portland Community College in the Building Construction and Technology program. So these are people who are going to school to become contractors.
Okay. Good.
And this is Ignacio. He's basically helping to widen in the area that's going to be soon to be the French doors.
Oh, so this is at Frankie's house?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then, as you can see, this is close to finished, but the French doors are installed and open, and you can see coming away from the home is a deck area.
So that deck is all new there?
Correct. That's all been built.
What a great addition to the house.
In addition, right.
Yeah.
Whereas before there was nothing. There was just the window to his bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
And then this is some of the team members that were there. The two on the left are both Portland Community College students. The one on the right is our project manager, and I don't know for sure, but I believe that's the mom in the middle.
Okay, good.
And there's Frankie.
There's Frankie being wheeled out.
And
how great is that?
he's coming out and just a character. One of the things that we do traditionally is, champagne is known for celebration. So we were passing around champagne, offered to his mom, to his dad, and they both said no. And Frankie said, "Oh, I think I'll have some."
Oh, I love it.
So he joined us for a toast.
Good deal. Oh, that's great. I bet that made a huge difference. Was he appreciative?
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, we're almost out of time, Craig. So tell me, if people are interested in getting involved, you have a website.
Correct.
That's probably the best place to go to start.
Right.
And so the thing that you need most is skilled labor, skilled supplies.
Correct. Well, skilled labor or
supplies.
supplies that are in the trade industry, whether it's plumbing supplies or lumber. Oftentimes, those are the two primary things that we need for projects.
And you do these at no charge to the...
Correct.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, this is all donated to the family.
Do you ever have to turn people down?
Unfortunately, there are times when they don't meet the criteria that we're trying to fit in terms of the need of home ownership, for instance, or income level is another. So typically, we're trying to provide this as a service for those who can't otherwise
who can't
afford
otherwise afford it. That makes perfect sense to me. Well, you're doing a great job. I think that's an important thing to be able to provide to people who need it. So thanks for being out there and doing that.
Appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Craig. Well, thanks for being here tonight. And if you're interested in getting more information, the website will be up on your screen. So be sure to take a look and find out more about ReFIT. And don't go away. We'll be right back with our last segment on Community Hotline.